So that brings us up to date for both of us with our musical journey as far as bands that we've been in from our beginnings to where we are now. And there's some things that I left out that I forgot about until you brought up some parts in your story, and maybe even vice versa.
Yeah.
So I'm sure in future episodes we'll get around to that. It'll be fun to visit and revisit those stories. But there is something on our agenda that I'm looking forward to that we haven't gotten into yet, and it is the variation of the cocktail, the Old Fashioned. And traditionally, the Old Fashioned is, what is it? A muddled sugar cube, a cherry, and an orange slice or an orange peel.
Couple splashes of bitters.
Bitters.
Yep.
Okay.
Couple slashes of bitters. I think.
And a bourbon of some sort.
Right. Yeah. Even a straight whiskey.
Over ice?
Typically over one large cube.
Okay.
The interesting thing is, as I've kind of researched it and read into old fashions and that, I did not realize that some of the traditional recipes for that were, sugar cube or a teaspoon of sugar over your large cube, and then your bourbon's poured on top of that, which then dissolves it down in there. I didn't realize that was actually a thing for the traditional recipe on that. And so I remember when did you discover this? A few years ago.
Okay.
I was sitting at a bar and watching them make an old fashioned, and I just kind of did a head
confused
turn.
Dog.
Yeah.
Look where it kind of tilts.
Like,
you're hearing a weird noise.
What are you doing? I forget where or who I learned it from. I might have learned it from my sister, but I've learned to do my old fashions with maple syrup versus, and simple syrup is another way to do an old fashioned. But the granular sugar is actually a traditional recipe. I'd always made an old fashioned with simple syrup, so it's already dissolved. And so that time
is that what simple syrup is? It's just a
simple syrup is sugar and water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at this point, I had been making my old fashions with maple syrup instead of simple syrup. Maple syrup gives it a little bit more of a richness to the flavor, and kind of enhances a lot of the flavors that are already there. Just helps bring them out a little bit more.
I'm probably going to be saying "wow" quite a bit.
Wow.
Very interesting. Tell me more. So we got So it says you brought up the bitters. We'll be using some Payne Black.
Yeah.
Smashed Bada Bing cherry. Is there any any secret to the smashed Bada Bing cherry?
Just like with a typical old fashioned, it's muddling the cherry to kind of release those flavors.
Excellent.
I don't have any Bada Bing cherries. I have.
Sounds very Joey from Friends.
I have machino. I do have machino cherries.
Okay, those are good.
But I also have the Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
Barrel aged cherries.
Okay. Will those
which I prefer.
Will those be similar to what we had after the photo shoot?
They are exactly what we had.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Those, compared to the what'd you call them? Machino cherries. Yeah. I always called them maraschino or maraschino. But
it is maraschino.
Whatever. Potato. But whatever you want to call them, they have completely different flavor profile.
Well, bright
so much
red
depth
versus the barrel aged brown.
Yeah, I would definitely go with that. What about the orange peel? Orange peel is part of this variation, this recipe. Do you have a different kind of orange peel?
So I've been buying these dehydrated orange slices. Amazon again is a wonderful resource for finding these.
Any specific kind of orange that you can recall?
I believe these are navel orange.
Navel, okay.
Dehydrated navel oranges, yep. But what I found interesting with this, so what we have here is on Von Payne's website, they have a section of their website called Libations, and they've got probably eight, 9 different recipes on there for different cocktails, and one of them is their Currant Old Fashioned. What I think is interesting as I've kind of looked at this, I realize their recipe here does not have a simple syrup or sugar component to it, which I guess makes sense, because as we were kind of describing that, there is a lot of the sweetness and tartness and the fruitness that is already in the blended whiskey from the currant berry, that their recipe doesn't need that little splash of sweetening. But it does have the 4 dashes of aromatic bitters. It's got the smashed cherry, so I'll use the barrel aged cherry on that, and then I will throw in a dehydrated orange peel and go from there.
I like it. I can't wait. Really, I can't wait to see this thing assembled and see just what it looks like. A visual presentation of what this thing looks like. So we just took a moment to mix up the variation of the currant Old Fashioned, not the current as the latest version of the Old Fashioned, but the currant Currant Old Fashioned. I don't know why I needed to put so much emphasis on the definition of the vernacular here, but we started off with muddling the cherry, and from there we added 8 dashes of aromatic bitters, because it's a double recipe.
A double recipe. Which, honestly, now that we've put it in the glass, I could have drank a double them on my own.
It's a very beautiful presentation, as you will see in the video somewhere. We'll probably post it on Instagram and or TikTok. And so we did. We muddled 2 Woodford Reserve barrel-aged cherries.
Yep.
We added 8 dashes of aromatic bitters. Into an iced whiskey glass, we added a 1 dehydrated orange slice of, not the whole damn thing, but a slice of orange.
Yeah, as much as I love the dehydrated orange slices are fantastic, because they're a no-brainer. There's no prep work. You literally, I keep them in a vacuum sealed container, and so you pop the top off, pop one in the glass, and as you drink, and I even use them in sometimes when I pour neats, I'll put one of those in the bottom and then just pour a little bit on there, and over time, your whiskey, your bourbon hydrates that orange back, and by the time you're done with it, you can actually eat it if you want, and the orange flavors come out as it sits there in the liquid for a while. But the thing you do miss with a dehydrated garnish, because that's really what they are, that's what they're sold as, is cocktail garnishes. You miss the fresh orange and the oils and juices that come right off of the rind. So typically, if you were to cut yourself an orange twist off of a fresh orange, you would slide it around the rim to get a little bit of that orange oil right on the edge of it, and then you would twist it over the glass to squeeze out just a little bit of it, and then drop it down in there. But I love the dehydrated slices just because they're no brainer. They're super
simple.
They're simple. They're easy.
No fuss, no muss.
Right.
Easy to store.
You've had a long day. You get home. You just want to pour yourself a quick drink. This is a great thing to just drop in your glass and go. Don't even have to make it into a cocktail. It's great for neats because it gives you that immediate little bit of an orange flavor. Clank, clank, clank.
And I haven't even tried it yet. I just smell it, and it smells amazing.
So,
And this is the Savor the Burn version of this recipe.
It is. It's got a really great smell on the nose.
Nothing like a couple of weirdos like sniffing the hell out of a cocktail and trying to talk about it.
Just drink it, damn it!
In front of a microphone, right? You just want to drink it, so I'm just gonna drink it.
And cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
After the fact, but
So good. This is very good.
the bitters have really, I don't know, opened up some new flavors that we
You're
didn't
hearing
get.
a lot of clinking because we keep stirring the damn glass because we just want everything to mix and give us the full flavor profile. It's very, very tasty. Very pleased with this recipe. Yeah, so we both recognize that we both have a love and a respect for music, and we both have a love and a respect for alcoholic beverages. So whatever that ended up being, sounded like those conversations that we were having, whether it be over text or face to face in person, it sounded that to us like maybe other people would love to be a part of this conversation. And so really that's probably where the genesis of the idea of coming up of starting this podcast came from, was let's include anybody that might want to be a part of this conversation to be a part of this conversation, because we knew that if we love these things, other people, chances are they love them too. So what better way to expand the footprint of a conversation than to put it in a podcast? It seems like there's 101,000 podcasts out there, but why not throw it out there and see if anybody wants to join this conversation? So no, yes, it is Jonathan and W2 Wayne, if you want to call him that. Yes, it is us, and yes, it is Savor the Burn, but we are 100%, at least I'm 100% willing to open the door and let anybody that wants to talk cocktails,
Absolutely.
anybody that wants to talk rocktails. During the break, when we put together this cocktail for the Old Fashioned, we talked about a friend of W2's that he was actually the singer in the post-Christian rock band that he had going on, is still, after how many years?
We just rounded the 30-year mark.
30 years.
That's
After
long
30 years,
long time.
After 30 years, still a great friend.
We still put up
And-
with each other's ass. Thick and thin.
That sums up any relationship, whether it be friendship or wife, girlfriend, etc., etc. But I'm sure he's got great rock tales to add to the cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to tapping him and his memory bank for some great ideas to add to this conversation. And this is really kind of what I see when the question mark in the sky appears before me, and it comes to Savor the Burn, the podcast. It's a continuing conversation of cocktails and rocktails and just having fun with it, whether you drink or not. Maybe you don't drink anymore, but you remember you remember great tales of rock and metal, or whatever musical genre you happen to enjoy. I'm interested in hearing those stories. We talked about our guitar player Carl. His favorite beer, his staple. Is Miller.
It's not just his favorite beer. You nailed it on the head. It's the staple.
It's his staple. Is Miller Lite, and he calls it Mother's Milk.
His life mantra.
His life mantra is nothing but Mother's Milk. I don't know why I said it that way. It just sounded right at the time. Throw some reverb on that. Mother's Milk, milk, milk. But he absolutely loves that beer. And so whether it's a cocktail or a beer or a wine, we just we kind of just want to hang out. We want to hear those stories.
So I'm going to stop you right there.
Uh-oh. What do you got there? You got some little banner? You got a handkerchief? What do you got here?
So...
He's hiding it from me. You can't see this, and neither can I. He's got it under the damn table. I'm waiting for the presentation.
It's fantastic that I've got like a 25-foot headphone extension, so I can walk all the way across the room.
Right. Is he darts halfway across the room?
So as Jonathan's been talking about Carl and his Miller Lite and his mother's milk.
Yes. Oh, shit. All right, so he's got this banner, a Miller Lite banner.
It dawned on me, I have a bandana from my... Does this have a year on it? No, it does not. This was from my first ride to Sturgis.
Okay.
The bike rally. And it's a Miller Lite bandana, free to ride.
So we're looking at like, what, 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet?
Yep. Rally for great taste. So...
All right.
I just grabbed this because... As much shit as we give Carl for his Miller Lite and his mother's milk, I have drank my fair share of Miller Lite. And honestly, I think every musician has drank their fair share of Miller Lite.
Yeah, Lord knows I have.
It's funny how the scene and the relationship between club and band has changed over the years. But I remember in years past... Miller Lite, Bud Light, whatever the cheap domestic on tap was, the bands got that for free. And then at some point that became, the bands get 2 or 3 pitchers. And then that became, everyone in the band gets 2 drink tickets.
2 drink tickets.
And then that became, you're on your own.
You're on your own, yeah. I remember
what happened to that?
The first...
I haven't had a drink ticket in forever.
Man, neither have I. And then, I think I remember there was a local promoter that had his own bar, and we got a certain percentage off of not drinks, but off the menu, the grill, the bar and grill menu. So I got chicken fingers or tacos or something for 30% off because I'm in a band,
Mozzarella sticks that were frozen.
Mozzarella
and deep fried.
Sticks. Jesus, tap
in
dancing
the microwave.
Christ.
I'll give you 10% off the microwave appetizer.
No thanks, pal. Thank you. Moonshine shots, $2 each.
Apple pie.
All right. Hashtag if you know, you know. Still, respect for that guy for sure. I'm not sure for name dropping promoters and such, but yeah, we were doing a lot of his shows over the years.
Good.
It was a good time. Good time. So that's kind of what we're looking to do. We may not kick ass every single time. Not every podcast. I would expect, my expectations aren't so high that I'm going to think that every podcast that we do is going to be a home run, so to speak. We may have a hit or miss here and there. Yeah. I don't really care. I'm just looking to have fun with it and explore.
And it's all about the fun. In my liquor cabinet, I've got some shitty whiskeys in there. I've got some great whiskeys in there, and everything kind of in between.
You shared a video with me not too long ago where people took average whiskeys or whiskeys that they love and they infused it with tea.
Right.
And it turned from what you would call a shitty whiskey into something extraordinary.
Yeah. And not to copy that, but that I'm
100% going to try that.
I have not tried that yet.
I'd never heard of that. Never was on my radar. And I was like, oh my Lanta.
I love tea.
Yeah.
I love whiskey. And if I've got a whiskey that's kind of questionable in the cabinet,
or an old standard, like I've said,
right.
I'm a fan of Jim Beam just because it's cheap and it's sweet and I like it. I don't care. Who knows it? I don't care. But it's like the ugly girlfriend. You don't know what. I that doesn't even make sense. But I like it. I like Jim Beam. So why not? I know what to expect when it's like Slayer. Right, you get anytime you would get a new Slayer album, you listen to it yep, that's Slayer. So whenever I open up a new Jim Beam bottle, I know what to expect. Yep, that's Jim Beam. It's consistent, and it's, kind of my baseline standard, and it really just kind of goes up from there. Like, I don't really mess with Jack Daniels because it's just not like, once you've had other whiskeys like Jack Daniels and like even Crown Royal. Like, when I first started drinking, it was Crown Royal because it was a fancy bottle and like it came in the bag and nothing else looked like it. So you just thought, well, this is the good stuff. Yeah. All right. We talked about Jameson earlier. They have a coffee infused or coffee flavored. So
fantastic.
Good. That's a breakfast whiskey.
It's dangerous.
So dangerous. Yeah. Dangerous in a way that like you can drink it and not realize you're drunk. Right. So like, that I call that a breakfast whiskey because it's so good. So good. It's almost
kind of as dangerous as the peanut butter
Screwball.
The Screwball.
Yeah, that's dangerous too. It's like you're drinking your dessert.
Once again, my buddy Mitch, over at his house, he introduced me to Screwball, and the next day I swung by the liquor store on the way home and bought myself a bottle, and before the weekend hit, that bottle was down to like an inch and a half.
Dangerous, and it goes by quick. And
It does.
There's another one in that same vein as the flavored whiskeys like that. It's so sweet, it's syrupy like a liqueur, but it's like Screwball, but it's called Dough Ball. It's a cookie dough flavored.
I've heard of that. I have not tried that one.
Yeah. I found it at I looked liquor store. I couldn't find it anywhere. And then one day at Hy-Vee, I got to look, and I wonder if they have it here. And by
At
God,
the grocery store.
Fucking Hy-Vee. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, they had it, and it was sitting right next to Screwball.
I've got root beer whiskey upstairs.
I don't know if I've had a root beer whiskey.
And again, if you don't like root beer, it's probably not your thing. But if you like root beer,
I do.
Good God. Especially if you make a root beer float.
Yeah?
And then put a little bit of that in there.
Because that's where my mind went with it.
Fuck.
It's fuck with a capital fuck, bro. Sounds good.
Oh, it's amazing. I did. I got out the Ninja Bullet Blender one night, and I did vanilla bean ice cream. I put a little bit of
vanilla bean ice cream is the way to go. Like, if it's better than French vanilla, it's better than plain
French
vanilla.
First off, French vanilla is yellow, and that
if you've ever seen a vanilla
like
bean,
that.
it is not yellow. It's not white either. But
French blank whatever flavoring is terrible. Creamer.
I love me some French fries.
I can eat my weight in French fries. I like French fries.
Amen, sister.
Too much. But yeah, vanilla bean ice cream. I put a little bit of root beer soda into it.
Which brand? Because they do differ. And it does matter to me.
I think that particular time I used Barks.
Barks is good.
Barks is a great root beer.
I think for root beer floats, Barks and
Dad's root beer is also really
Barks,
good.
Dad's, and A&W are okay.
A&W is really good. A&W is caffeine free.
Yeah, drinking it.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but A&W is a solid root beer. It's caffeine free. Barks is caffeinated.
Okay.
So at the time, yeah.
And drinking it straight, IBC. All day, every day.
IBC is a great.
But
great
back to your recipe, the root beer float.
Yep.
You start with vanilla bean ice cream. You add your
put your root beer in there like you normally would for a root beer float,
right?
And then do a double shot of the root beer whiskey.
I bought a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label. It's 200 plus, and so I bought it because, like I said, my son's in the Air Force, and we don't really get to spend a lot of time together, especially now. So he told me that he bought this fucking bottle of scotch, and he said it was expensive, but he would not tell me the price. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go to Hy-Vee. And Hy-Vee has an incredible liquor selection of all kinds of whiskeys, wines, gins, vodkas, rums. They've got it all. And so I found they had 1 or 2 bottles of it, and I could not believe that the price tag on it was 200 even. It's like, 199, 200 even, pretty much, for this damn bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label. And I'm like, this is fucking absurd. And so I sent him a message while I'm still in the store. Did you really pay $200 for a bottle of scotch? And all he replied with was something to the effect of like, So I knew right away that the answer was yes. And so, like, the only way that I could share a whiskey or share a scotch with my son would have to be virtually over the internet airwaves. So I bought my own bottle of this damn scotch, and we did Facebook Messenger Live or whatever video call. And we had ourselves a $400 experience with one another to try this out with each other. And I wouldn't trade that for any amount of money. We had that moment together. Even though no, it wasn't in person, but it was a special moment that we got to share. So that's another.
That's cool.
In a way, to me anyway, that definitely rocks. It's a rock tale for sure.
Heck yeah!
Because I was very happy to spend that $200 to have that moment with my son, and like I said, I wouldn't trade that for the world. And so when it comes to that Blanton's, whether he ends up listening to this episode or not, I don't know. He's currently serving over in Germany right now, but I mean, once this episode or this once this episode is released, if he chooses to listen to it or not, either way, I'm going to end up, by the time he comes back into town, I'm going to have a bottle of Blanton's, one way or another. And we're going to, maybe we'll watch 1, 2, or all 3 of the John Wick movies again, and we'll have ourselves a Blanton's as we watch it. And
4 comes out here. 4 too much longer.
That's right. I forgot about that. 4 is either in the works or it's happening.
Not only that, you not only have John Wick 4 coming out, but they are also have started filming for a spin-off called The Ballerina, where they're going to focus on the ballerina school that John Wick, the family he came up through.
And that was the assassin training.
Yes.
Okay. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Even if they made a mini-series out of that would be very cool.
The John Wick 4 trailer, I don't think
I've seen it.
I'm so giddy about it. It is, oh my gosh. Just what they're showing on the trailer 4 looks, from a story standpoint, looks fucking amazing.
All right.
And the little glimpses of the action sequences that they're showing looks like it's off the chart.
So it's probably in post-production right now. It's just...
I don't remember the release date, but it's soon.
Wow.
I think it might be May or June.
Oh, he definitely won't be back in town by then. But he will be back in town eventually, Lord willing.
Speaking of Blanton's, the bottle that I mentioned that I got from our honeymoon, I've had it sit in my cabinet, and I actually have not touched it in a long time. I have probably right at 2 pours left. So, and I've been saving it because I want to share that with you. So we're going to do the last of my Blanton's on one of these episodes.
All right. The infamous...
The Blanton's single barrel.
Honeymoon single
original
barrel.
Single barrel.
Okay. Blanton's. All right. I'm down. That's it for this episode of Savor the Burn podcast. Thank you for listening. Feel free to reach out to us at any and all of our social medias at info@savortheburn.com. Reach me at jonathan@savortheburn.com and Wayne at w2@savortheburn.com, our 3 emails. And we will be happy to reply and look into your suggestions, your comments, concerns. If you just want to vent and say you guys fucking suck, we'll read it. We may even give you a shout out and a thank you for pointing that out and bringing that to our attention. So, Or we may just end up making fun of you. We don't know yet. We haven't reached that point yet. This is still...
Or all the above.
Oh, all the above. Yeah, we may thank you for giving us the input and make fun of you at the same time. Who knows? But chances are we're not going to put you on blast as far as personal name, address, telephone number.
But we definitely want to hear from you, and we definitely want to get your thoughts and your suggestions.
Yeah. That's it for this episode of Savor the Burn podcast. Thank you for listening. Feel free to reach out to us at any and all of our social medias at info@savortheburn.com. Reach me at jonathan@savortheburn.com and Wayne at w2@savortheburn.com, our 3 emails. And we will be happy to reply and look into your suggestions, your comments, concerns. If you just want to vent and say you guys fucking suck, we'll read it. We may even give you a shout out and a thank you for pointing that out, bringing that to our attention. So, or we may just end up making fun of you. We don't know yet. We haven't reached that point yet. This is still...
Or all the above.
Oh, all the above. Yeah, we may thank you for giving us the input and make fun of you at the same time. Who knows? But chances are we're not going to put you on blast as far as personal name, address, telephone number.
But we definitely want to hear from you, and we definitely want to get your thoughts and your suggestions.
Yeah, we eagerly await your feedback until we figure out what it is that we want to do. So for now, we're going to rely on you as far as to what you would like us to do until we figure out what it is that we want to do. We have a pretty good idea as to what we want to do. And we're going to explore those avenues as far as we see fit. But we're at this point we are open to suggestions, and we are really looking forward to seeing what it is that this can and will become. So once again, thank you for listening to Savor the Burn podcast, and until next time, keep on burning.
Thank you very much, guys. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Episode 1 in the books.
Woohoo!